I am politely begging you to start making posters. It feels like now, more than ever, there is a need to have a creative outlet. I don't know why, but it feels like the world is moving at a very fast pace. We have new technologies, AIs almost taking over at this point. Artists, designers, even computer scientists, they are being replaced. There's this sort of need for the world to kind of slow down, enjoy little things in life, and to be more creative. I've been studying for like 6 years now, 4 for my undergrads and 2 for my masters. And the only times that I've ever felt being creative, especially in like a subject like economics, is when I made slides in my classroom. That was the only time where I had creative freedom to sort of put my own ideas, spin of things. Other than that, mostly academia is a cookie cutter kind of setting. It's similar with corporate world. Like people say, oh, you have to be creative, you have to think outside the box. But once you start thinking out of the box, once you start being creative, the society, the status quo sort of punishes you. And I feel like because of all of these things, being creative is almost a privilege at this point. And I feel like everybody needs to have that one creative outlet. But I want to introduce you to making posters as a means of creative outlet. In terms of benefits, I would say it is definitely one of the cheapest options out of hobbies out there. Maybe second to writing or drawing, which just require pen and paper. Maybe making posters requires you to have a computer. But once you have a computer, you can start making posters. Canva, for example, it's completely free, and you can start making posters there. There are so many different ways of making a poster. I use the word poster, but this can mean a huge collection of things. It does not just have to be pasted on the walls. It's maybe you went on a vacation somewhere and you have a lot of pictures sitting on your phone. You can transfer them and make a collage out of them, share it with your friends and families. You can make certain mood boards. If you're an artist, you can use it as a storyboard. Maybe you read a book and you want to design the cover. Maybe you played a video game recently and you really like one of the characters. You can make a design for them. You can make a poster for them. There's like 2 points of times where you'll feel really good about your poster. Number 1 is when you're making it. Number 2 is like when you look back on it after a few weeks, after a few days, and say, oh, this is my creation. It's a different kind of fun. Now, I'm not just going to sit here and tell you should make posters. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to show you how easy it is to make a poster. I'm going to go into Canva and share my entire thought process of making this thing. Hopefully that will get you started. There's only 4 things you need in order to make a good poster, in my opinion. Number 1, you need an idea. Number 2, you need some textures. Number 3, you need like a background. And number 4, you may need some kind of patterns. First of all, you need the idea. The idea can be whatever you want it to be. It can be the movie that you watched recently, a book that you read, a video game that you played, anything that you want to make a poster about. That is the idea. The background, what I mean by that is I do not like working on just a straight up white canvas. Maybe some people do. So you need to add some kind of color or some kind of texture. Next, you need some kind of overlay, some kind of texture on top as well. And this texture can be anything like a paper or like the wall, the cement. You can download these textures for free from Google. Just go to Google and type in paper texture and then just download the first image that you can see. And then finally, you may need some patterns. This is completely optional. And what I mean by patterns is like if you want your poster to look a bit more retro, if you wanted to give a certain kind of aesthetic, there are certain patterns that help you do that. For example, there are things like halftone patterns or things like film grains or I don't know, just any sort of fun patterns in general that you want to use in your designs. And once we have all 4 of these, we can jump into Canva, the free version, and we can start making a poster. So I load up my project here on Canva, and as you can see, I'm working on a free version. For this case, I'm just going to make like a collage of pictures. So all I'm going to do is take some rectangles and then arrange them. You can arrange them in whatever layout you want. You can also just copy my layout here. If you go to Pinterest and search for like collage overlays or collage layouts, there are also many different variations. I like to use this one here. The next step is just taking pictures that you took. In this case, I'm using these pictures that I took from my stay in Olomouc, which is a really nice city in Czech Republic. I'm just going to sort of adjust them within these layers, crop them as needed, and then I put them. And this is where the texture comes in. I put my paper texture on top, and then I can sort of move it back. So instead of having a white background, we now have a paper texture. Next, what I like to do is add a little bit of film grain in order to give that sort of filmy cinematic look to my elements here, my pictures. And then here's a quick trick that I can show you if you want really cool gradients in Canva. You just search for a light. In this case, I'm going for this light here. And then you can change the color of this light. If you're searching for anything under the graphics tab, those graphics, most of their colors can be changed. Here I'm using this brown stuff, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to send it back. Oh, you can also adjust the layers in the layers panel, and then I'm going to send it back just before the background so that it sits behind all of these images and there's like a burst of light in the background. But because it's a light, it's concentrated in the center and spreads outside, so it creates a bit of a radial gradient of sorts, and I really like to use this style if I'm making posters in Canva. It adds a little bit more life, a little bit more depth. And then the next step is just adding a few details, and then that's it. This is just a very easy poster that you can start making immediately. Now, it does not have to be just pictures or collages. You can make posters of anything. You can import your sketches if you're into that. If you're into drawing, you can put them into Canva. There's this tool called the image trace tool, which allows you to sort of circumnavigate and remove the background, make your sketch into a PNG, and then you can do some stuff with that. And everything is available in the Elements tab. In fact, Canva makes things easy for a casual artist or a designer, in a sense that you do not have to search for elements, you don't have to create elements most of the time. You can just use whatever they have available in their library, and that's a very easy way to get into design. Or let's say you want to use an entire image of yourself. Maybe you were doing some chores and you were listening to a music that you really liked. You can make a poster about that as well. I was listening to a French song and I really liked it, so I'm making a sort of a poster about it. Other more complex tools like Photoshop and Illustrator, they have these things called blending options. Canva does not necessarily have that, but you can sort of work your way around using the transparency or the opacity tool. That's kind of what I did, and this is what it looks like. It's as easy as that. I feel like especially these days, it is very important to get your life back. And there's a song by Pink Floyd. It's called Comfortably Numb. And that's sort of what we are becoming. We are just comfortable in our own rat race, comfortable, but we're also numb towards it. Like, we do not want to change. Or maybe we want to change, but we do not try. And the best way to battle this burnout is to do something creative. The answer to toxic productivity is definitely creativity. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to encourage you to not let that happen. Do not let your creativity die away. Making posters, it does not have to be complex. It does not have to be perfect. And it does not have to appease anyone. You know who would be happy to see that you made a collage? Probably your mom or your friends that you went to the trip with. This is the drawing that I made. It's supposed to be Champs-Élysées. I don't know if it looks like that, but anyways. Do you know who the happiest person was to see that I made this sketch? It was my mom. At the end of the day, that's what really matters. Creativity is more like a muscle. The more you train it, the better it gets. How do I train this muscle? If you start loving making posters, next time you take a picture, you will take it with intent. You'll think about how I can make a poster or how I can make an art out of this. It's all about finding ideas. The first step is finding ideas, and once you have ideas, the execution comes next. Hopefully this video helps you be a bit more creative in your life, and thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.